Hello and welcome to the after show for Game of Thrones Riverlands episode 6?
7.
Bloody hell, these things go fast. 7, there you go.
Speaking of which, XP. How much do we
10.
get?
10.
We get 10 every episode.
Oh, 10.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
How much
So
do guests get? Because we aren't on
You
all
get 10
episodes.
every episode, regardless if you're on it or not.
Oh, so I should have a lot of experience that I
If
could
you
be
spent
spent.
70.
if you spent none,
Yes.
you have 70. If you have spent some, then
Okay.
I
I haven't spent any.
I'm going to
It's
start
just
marking
70.
that differently. I'm just going to quickly mark that 10 of 70 so I know. I'll change it every time. Okay.
Today was fun.
Well,
Yeah. Ooh, I got a lot of experience that I need to look at what I can do with.
you know what you could do? Really increase your athletics. Please, dear God. And your stamina. I think you could increase both of those with that. That would increase your damage and it would increase your
Health?
your to hit by 2 and your health. Yeah, it would be you'd need that.
Yeah.
And your stamina is 2, which as a fighter is just glass.
Yeah. That's the plan, was to increase agility and
That's why she's got a tower shield.
endurance.
Yep, that's true.
You don't need health when you have a tower shield.
Well, you just proved that
How
a
much
little
are-
bit.
How much are the ability ratings
10
cost?
times new
for-
level.
10 times new level?
Yep.
mhm.
Specialities are 6 times new level. Main points are 10 times new level.
10 times new level. New level.
And you're what? 3 agility, 2 stamina?
2 agility and 2 endurance.
In which case you could up both to 3 and have 10 XP left over.
Yeah.
That's what I did before this game. I took
That's
2 up to 3rd level and
Yeah.
then now I'm sitting on 10.
Definitely worthwhile.
Which is good. It was important for this one because I upped my insight.
Yeah.
Does it auto increase the rolls for you and stuff like
Yep.
that?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
You'll also see
Dunzo.
like you now have 3 wounds and 3 injuries, which is great.
Yeah. So
Do you-
then I s- 10.
Is do destiny points reset for each session? Is it
Yep,
like
they do.
willpower?
Unless
Yeah.
you burn them.
Okay.
Yeah. I
did
should
not.
have used one. I should have, when I intimidated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I should've
remember
used
to
this
call it
one.
honestly occasionally because I know she's got like shitloads because she's a child, but I
Oh,
forget
yeah, she's
with
got
you
extra
adults.
ones. Yeah, it didn't even cross my mind until afterwards. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I was in the moment. It happened. Intimidation was
You
what she told, even though I should have seduced her into
Yeah.
it.
You don't get the destiny points back, right? Like they're gone.
If you spend them, you do. If you burn them, you don't.
You can have a greater effect if you burn them. It grants you a larger effect.
Yeah,
But you can spend them every episode and then get
Mhm.
them back.
Yeah, your total number back each game. Yeah.
Plus, if
And
you're
then-
unhappy with how many you have, you can spend 50 and
Could I
get
have
another
spent them on those rolls against Declan?
Could have.
one. Probably could have.
yeah.
You have to call that for.
I
Yeah,
would have
if you want
spent
the tens.
all of them because I'd want. She rolled so bad, but I kind of like that.
Honestly,
Declan
there
kicked her
wasn't
butt.
much you could have done with your rolls. Like on some of those rolls, you got like 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and I was like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just day.
Just unlucky.
It just happens.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing: I came there to get a deal done, and I got the deal done, and I got more than what I was trying to get for, and I didn't have to pay for.
So how did that deal? What do you guys think
Yeah,
about that deal?
I
It
actually
was a bad
I
deal
must
for
have-
you, great for me.
I feel like I misinterpreted that. Like I thought we were supposed to be getting finances to assist us with our issue with our men.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
I wasn't sure
So-
if we did.
I'll tell you, I don't really know. And I almost asked to Ian, I was like, no, I'm just going to let it play out and like watch the repercussions happen. But like when you already have a house talking to one house and what they're doing is now sharing, the goal is to like share power. Part of that is land as well. Like obviously my family won't get your land or anything like that, but it makes you guys less powerful, as he mentioned, when you bring another army in. And you guys did not discuss it at all with your father or Luvina.
Yeah.
if Lean would have discussed it with her father because she took it to her father and persuaded him.
she did talk to her father, and her father would have had to talk to your family if he felt that was
I
necessary.
wouldn't have had to
but he
talk to
might not.
Lavina's family about that one.
No, you went to him and said, hey, Dad, she wants to chat with you, right? And he
Yes.
said,
Yeah.
I trust you to chat for me.
Yeah, but later
Right.
on, if Lean then took the final deal to
Yeah.
him and rolled
Oh, I
persuasion.
see the final thing back to
Did
him.
the
Yeah,
final
but
persuasion.
it is,
Yeah.
for in Luvina's opinion, as much as he sees it as like his duty, there should have been discussion about it. It was a house decision that in the end is going to affect how much and how beneficial it is.
This is totally just one of those things, like she persuaded at like a 24. And
Oh
she's
yeah,
like, oh shit,
absolutely
yeah,
not. But
you
there
did a
will
good
like
job.
Luvina will have feels about it.
Yeah,
expect that
I
much.
understand the feels, but the thing is, like, making a betrothal so far away, like, 5 years ahead of time, more than that, like, making a betrothal that far away is basically like committing to the stock exchange. It's like the house I am getting betrothed to could go up, in which case, yay, we got a marriage for like way under the price. Or if their like house drops, it's like we committed to this, now we have to follow through or break.
Yes, but when you play the stock exchange, the goal is not to have your stocks go down. You play it for your stocks to go up. And I put money into a stock that they just made a choice for it to automatically go down.
Here's the thing,
So
though. They only
your
lost.
argument is a little light, EE.
No, that's the exact same thing. Like you put the the deal in, and if the deal goes down, like that's the downside of putting that value in. They didn't lose that much. They lost some land.
I was gonna say, I lost some land.
How much did
the
we lose
influence-
anyway,
12
realistically?
points of land, which is literally a marsh of a stream.
It's
It wasn't usable
that's a
land.
pretty big, like -4 seems like a lot. The influence, I'm kind of like sad about. Like, ooh, maybe shouldn't be losing influence,
But
but
didn't we gain like 6 points of law?
6 points,
6
of law.
points of
You're
law
almost up to
and
30.
a point of power,
huge.
which I'm happy. I spent the wealth towards the power, which I think is also good for us. So
Plus, we've got all of the men, right? We have some of their men coming over to help us
Although
defend.
admittedly,
so-
they
Yeah.
are helping you.
Again-
They are stationed in your land, but they
Sure.
still are Davenmar troops.
It's not just about what we gained or lost. It's the fact that Levine is not just there to babysit Liana. She's there as an ambassador to discuss the exchange. And she was not brought into that discussion at all. Even if he was going to have the final say, which Luvina would have given him. You did
Does
not.
he,
I am an
does he
ambassador.
respect Luvina?
No,
Yeah,
Does he
Mrs.
respect
Turbidette.
Luvina enough to do that? I don't know if he does.
I don't think. Maybe I don't know enough, but I didn't
I
think
don't know
that was
yet.
necessary.
No, it's not.
You, as your character may not, Luvina does. She still represents her family. And we are in a contract. I should have
mean-
at least been at a table for discussion.
Declan doesn't care either way, but like I as Bub, I don't actually know if there was enough clout there on Lavina's part for the Lord to be like,
Not
well,
really.
yeah,
Like, it
we
would
should
have been-
probably
it
tell
would have been
Lavina.
like a nice gesture to at least consult, even if then going to ignore. But
It didn't even have
Right.
to be a consulting.
Yeah.
Just when the discussion happened, I deserved to be in the room.
like
That
it would
didn't
have
happen.
been a nice gesture. It totally is not required, and it's totally a thing of like ignoring the niceties of it. It's a case of like you made an agreement that you hope both houses hope the other house would go up in
Sure,
prominence.
we'll benefit from in the
but
long
like
run.
the nicety, the being like making sure that everyone's happy and no one gets like annoyed or whatever, would have been to say like, Lavina, we're thinking of doing this. I just want to check what you think, even if you're going to ignore it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
but-
here's the other thing. Everybody, like, Bub mentioned, like, during the game that Luvina's like a house cat, but before Luvina came here, she was and did play an ambassadorial role for her family. They used her for suggestions for this. She had plays on a political level. And she's come here and taken a major drop. The Lord treats her like she's just here to babysit his daughter. And it's beginning to wear and irritate her.
clearly, as she's like, I'm gonna kill you if you
Yeah.
Dang, that was a big drop.
that was a big moment, honestly.
So it's just like one of those things. Like I've given, and I told that today to Declan. It's like I've given everything. I've been super loyal to this family, and you guys still treat me like I'm garbage. The wildling gets treated better than the ambassador that is currently in contract with your house. He does not trust her, and she doesn't know what else she can do to make him trust her.
The thing is, though, that it's slightly more like that northern attitude. It's not quite northern, but the north part of the Riverlands is still relatively northern in that outlook, which is they care less about the ambassadorial role than they do about, like, someone who's bound themselves by doing, like, effectively, like, a life debt type situation of, like, I literally saved your fucking house.
Which I
And-
totally recognize. But the goal is to make both of us stronger. And we're strong. If the concept is we're stronger together, then we should be standing together on things. At least that from Luvina's perspective.
Oh, question.
Mhm.
Was my... Oh, I see. I was like, athletics. I was wondering, when I roll for my Castle Forge, wouldn't it be with fighting? But I realized...
No, you roll with fighting. Your athletics is the damage.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Let me
That
pull
we
up
don't have
your-
to talk about the truth bomb. It's fine.
So that
Oh, yeah,
wasn't-
No big deal.
It will definitely come out again.
Yeah.
To whom? I don't know.
I've been waiting on it to come out to somebody. Anyways, it was
That-
There are things in motion. That's all I'm
That
saying.
felt like the perfect opportunity. I thought it was really well done. And I liked hearing Declan's background story too. That was cool.
Mhm.
I like how everyone automatically assumes that Declan is basically mentally deficient.
No.
Who assumes that?
Oh, I'm just reading chat. They're like, what the hell is he even doing right now? Like, this is the most awkward, cringy thing I've ever. He doesn't really know that many customs. He doesn't talk to many women here. All of his customs are what he was taught, and then all of his experiences at the brothel. So
Right,
All his
but
customs is like, here's silver.
I
Yeah.
will say that Lavina and Declan had some bonding this game.
They definitely did.
really
Oh yeah.
It was
Felt like
this
some
close
really
to
common ground.
bondage, but it was still bonding. It was very.
Declan,
And it was talking about bondage at the
Yeah.
same
we
time.
talked about bondage, we
Yeah.
talked about fishing, we talked about
Mhm.
trying to help Declan get the lady he wants. He's not complete. Like when I found out you're going to the brothel, which was news to Lavina, I'm like, okay, Declan's clearly like interested. He's got moves. He has feelings.
Yeah.
And, he needs to be taken care of in certain aspects. But but I like the moment I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun was when you dropped the word "fuck" at breakfast, and the other two ladies
Yeah.
were like, and I was like, oh. Declan and Lavina are about to get a log. So I was like, give us some more wine. We need more of a conversation.
Mhm.
yeah, it's good. It's
Yeah.
good.
It's good, no big deal.
It's gonna get weird for sure.
I also we will take a fishing trip. I have a really fun idea for a fishing trip.
Oh.
The most un-Game of Thrones game.
I did grow up on the coast. My people would know how to fish.
I was gonna say
felt like
the
that's not
Riverlands.
really Game of Thronesy. I mean, we had like a negotiation deal that went down, which I thought was
Yeah.
cool.
We had someone threaten someone else with death,
Yeah.
Someone threatened someone else.
despite the fact they loved them. That's very Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
We had someone go missing.
Yeah, we have.
right. Somebody went missing.
Thing.
Somebody trained with a sword privately.
Yeah. Do I hear from John? Does he come around anytime
So you
soon?
better hope not.
I'm gonna be messaging EE like, so what is John? Is he gonna train me soon? When does he come by?
I've already been messaging EE because my plan was not to release that information until much later in the game.
Yep.
Like that was not the plan. It was probably going to be Liana who got that information, but it was not supposed to happen until much later in the game. And so she got a little bitchy today, and I had to put her in her place a little bit.
Wow. Yeah, I love her, but she got bitchy and I had to put her in her place.
I had to put her in her place.
Are you
So
gaslighting your RPG girlfriend?
That's,
Yeah, you
moment.
essentially broke up with her. This is the
When it's-
breakup.
Yeah.
episode.
break up with her. I
Yeah.
told her we could keep sleeping together, but I told her we couldn't do it at night. She couldn't lie about it anymore.
I'm telling you, man, that moment when it's not actually Liana, it's our faceless John.
Oh no! Don't give me ideas.
No, it's like it would totally make sense narratively. Like, look at the fact you don't want her to be hanging on to you. She's supposed to be detrimentally down to marry your brother, and she's like proclaiming her love to you and trying to hang on to it so you can separate that. She wants to put you as far away from her as possible. Narratively, that's what I would do as a storyteller. But then again, I don't mind killing off characters.
I mean, I technically threatened her twice.
Yeah.
I don't mind killing her either.
It's totally
Also-
good that Declan wasn't there for that because
I know.
Dude, you're just gonna kill. All their kids are gonna die.
How Game of Thrones of us.
yeah,
I will say too, though, it was kind of serendipitous that this episode we learned that information because it puts Caliph and Liana on a similar track. Like we've both killed a brother for almost the same reason.
Caliph
for
and
the purpose
Lavina.
of the house. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jesse, Liana, Caliph and
Yeah.
Lavina.
Yeah.
On the same path, which is interesting that we both greeted it very
And
differently.
Lavina's like, but
Yeah.
Caliph did it for wrong reason. We need to keep eye on him.
I didn't say he did it for any wrong reason. I just said we need to keep an eye on him and
I
find
mean,
out the truth.
But you,
I am
You
a
don't know.
true,
They don't
but
know.
You told
that Caliph
Declan,
did
and if you
anything.
tell
They don't have any.
Declan,
Plus, we don't have any proof, but if I find out that he was involved and killed his brother, it is very important information that will allow
But
me
what
to
I'm
align
wondering
with
is,
Caliph.
why would her and Declan ever even think that he did?
We discussed it at the top. We had that whole conversation. I mean, it was just pontification, and that's
but when you were discussing it, I don't know how you would have come to that
because there were 4 of us in the room discussing information. Me, Declan, Calith, and Ithleen.
What I'm wondering though is why Declan doesn't think it's Lavina either, because Lavina.
He did. He mentioned that.
He mentioned that. I asked her like straightforward, like, "Dude, do you have something?"
Yeah, you asked her straightforwards. Is that the end of it?
So there's nothing stopping Declan from looking into Luvina, and he probably will. Like, she stood there and stared him in the face and was like, "You have to do what you have to do." Like,
I'm already aware that she's going to be a better liar than me, and I'm shit at perception. But I can't go to Calith, who's a master of words, who clearly did it to begin with. So who do I find? Like, let's go to the Maester, who's like 194 years old, and he'll fucking die right in front of her. If I go to Ithleen, then she's not going to say anything for obvious storytelling reasons. I've got to be able to make an appropriate play. I've got to have everything in order first.
Yeah, which is why Luvina didn't come out today and say, "Hey, Calith did it." I'm saying he's a viable possibility, along with John, who I made very clear I still don't trust.
Yeah. I feel like it raises a lot of suspicions on John now that he's left.
Oh yeah. No, like honestly, Calith is like a 25% chance in Declan's head. The rest of it is John.
Oh yeah, and I would totally agree.
Motivations.
Yep, I would totally agree. Luvina is leaning towards it having been John. Like her gut just tells her you can't trust him, and the leaving makes it even more.
It makes sense for many
reasons.
You have
for either of those? Like I feel like there's been no
that he killed him.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know for a fact there were 2 people there. We know for a fact that
there were 4,
Ithleen,
technically.
I'm sorry, 4.
Yeah.
One of them died. We were told that from Ithleen. And we're making assumptions based on the fact that, well, obviously just gut instinct, but Luvina believes that he wasn't just there and then watching him mourn the loss of him and the impact of it. He was involved some way in the death of their brother.
He was mourning the loss and the impact of it.
Huh?
It's been stated repeatedly that he was mourning the loss.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Okay.
I just said that. Yeah. Because of the mourning of the loss of him, like obviously there's basic loss, but there's like a connection. Plus they're lovers. And it's like, okay, you know, for Luvina, she's trying to figure out like, why would a lover kill another lover as somebody that is currently in love with someone? What just to be pushed to, you know what I mean? Like what do you have? What links do you have to be pushed to?
Apparently and then revealing that you slit your brother's throat is a decent reason.
No, that would be the outcome. Her digging into it and telling her that story was to put her in line and help her understand where my priorities lie. I may love her, but that is not priority.
Declan doesn't understand love, so he has no idea other than why he might be mourning.
Yeah, which I also thought was a cute thing. It's like you can't make that reasoning, but like there are legitimate like. I would say this, that if you were looking at the board, we can't draw the red line yet, but we've got people's faces. And what we're trying to do is draw a line. So you have to investigate everyone. We have to investigate John. We have to investigate Caleb. And unfortunately, we have to investigate Ithleen.
And the reason he doesn't think that it was Ithleen was because the last dead body she saw, it caused her to vomit on the back of the horse's head. There's no way she would have the fortitude to kill her own brother.
I did come to you guys.
That's the fact that you went through the guy from top to bottom and also the brains hit her. Like, that was explicit.
Yeah, it was pretty explicit. But I mean, I did also come to you guys about the poison. Though I could, if I did do it, I could just be telling you to make you not think it was me. But
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also the possibility there was an extra.
He is persuasive after all. We found out.
Yes, I'm persuasive. But that being said, like you were honest with this, and the idea of like you coming to us later, like even Luvina and Declan talked about that. It's like clearly it's been weighing on you, and even if you had to attack your brother, which we kind of discussed, is like you may have had to have stabbed him. It was because of self-defense.
Declan is definitely convinced that she's innocent.
Yeah, absolutely. Luvina pretty much is too, but I am.
But of course,
you know.
But the thing is, you could have actually orchestrated the entire event. And the way that you're handling it, Declan would just assume that you're innocent because he wants to believe that children aren't fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Luvina doesn't. She knows how terrible children can
be. What does Declan think about Andrea now that he's met her and he's fought her?
That's actually probably his my favorite moment of the game. Like, it was great having those moments with Luvina and actually having our characters kind of bond together. But I'd have to say like the penultimate moment was when he felt like there was actually some sort of realness there for Declan, especially when she acted very different alone. Because at the table she was like, ooh, blushing and not really wanting to say much. But when we entered into the conversation, she's like, to be honest, I prefer that. And they call me Wolf Slayer, but my friends call me Andy. And I was like,
normal person.
okay, all
And I
right.
drink Budweiser and I fart.
Yeah. As every woman does, is totally fine. No, I don't know. It's he didn't see you as this some like angelic warrior maiden, especially as Theron had described it. Plus, Declan was drinking too, so he may have like let it kind of build up in his head. But to see a realer side of you, who you were intentionally trying to keep it quiet, like I try to keep it on the DL. He liked that, and then when you told him that you can call me Andy, that was weird. That was a new feeling for him. It was a very, very new feeling for him. I'm not saying it's love. Let's calm down a little bit here, because it's definitely not. But he doesn't really know what to think.
Yeah.
Especially after fighting her. It's like, okay, she kind of is badass. All right.
So now I just want Theron to meet Andrea and then get the love triangle going.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Although that said, Declan started with a massive torpedo.
Oh, he's still like, as I was saying earlier, this is a great opportunity for him. He can get behind this and just look like a good guy all the way through, because Theron is definitely a good guy for all intents and purposes, especially in the eyes of a woman.
Yeah.
He's like very notebook worthy. So I definitely see him appeasing to that. It's like, yes, I made a mistake. I was drinking. Did I have sex with someone? I don't know. I was intoxicated. I don't remember anything other than confessing my undying love for you.
I did try to throw you under the bus, though. I was like, where did you guys have this conversation, Declan?
No, that was great. I could tell Luvina was just having the time of her life in that
It's everything I live for.
breakfast.
Yeah, it's everything I
is,
live for.
Declan would never know that you're trying to do that to him.
No, you were so
doesn't get
innocent about it. Yeah, no, I loved it. It's so great.
I did such
brothel.
It was such a good like medieval times conversation that I loved all of the.
I'm just looking forward to when Theron's on and he has his Bill Clinton moment. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. blink, 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 blink. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I don't think Andrea would confront him about that, because she doesn't really care, nor is she like even thinking about that kind of thing. No, but I expect
Lavina to throw that bus at you just for the fun of it.
Yeah, just for the fun of it. I mean, technically, I was like, hey, you can come visit me anytime you want to. But I have to also say, I actually wrote a note. Do you know how many times you held Ithleen's hand in this game?
A lot.
Lavina's like eyeing it up.
Don't think Lavina
I got the same
I kept a tally of how many times you made physical contact with Ithleen.
Mm-hmm. Maybe she's grossed out by Theron because she's not.
Andrea's kind of a touchy person. Like, she even touched Declan when she was having a conversation with him. I was trying to really paint that picture, because she's not like. She does, like, for instance, I do have seduction. I have like the one thing that where like I have, when I persuade, I roll that. But I think it's just because she's kind of like that way, but it doesn't mean that she's like meaning it in that way.
I don't know. I kind of like your ship name. It's either Steak or Rule.
Oh,
pretty good ship name.
Go.
Yeah, those are pretty good. Those are pretty good ship names.
It was a very sexually driven episode, though. I am really excited to make our trip to the brothel. Lavina didn't even know there was a brothel in town.
And Andrea
was mostly sexually driven for other players there. Like,
I think Andrea wasn't touching her like that. She was consoling her, like, because of,
That's the vibe I got, at least. But I could tell, like, even like Dusty Lavina was like, this is interesting.
Like, Andrew's like, here's my consoling hand.
How many times was it?
My other hand.
If you counted.
5.
Okay, that's not that many.
So the fact that nobody ever touches each other in this game, 5 is a lot.
It kind of is.
Like, you don't touch somebody in this game unless you're going to fuck them or you're going to fight them. And this is like 5. You touched her 5
If you count Declan and I fighting, then I touched him as well.
A lot.
I mean,
that's the
I don't
fighting
think you
part.
touched
You were
Declan.
fighting or fucking.
Not with those rolls.
What?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't touch
with those
Declan, not with
rolls.
those
Yeah,
rolls.
that's true.
No.
Yeah. It was a really,
I mean, Declan's a thick boy. He probably just bounced off that mace, welcoming it. Like, fong me, my liege.
I would like Luvina and Declan do have to deck it out one day.
I loved the conversation between you two.
The fishing conversation.
Yeah.
I love how clearly when I go fishing, I have to be having sex.
What I think is
That was a weird correlation. I was like,
yeah,
what is
it was. Well, it's a constant bizarre roadmap for him. It's trying to understand because he doesn't know Dornish. He doesn't know.
No.
All he knows is what he's heard. So when he's finally getting to spend time after the 2 years that you've been here, Declan has been constantly on the road taking care of the lawlessness. So now that he's got an opportunity, it's like this is a new kind of battle. I must understand.
Let me try. Yeah. Very interesting. I also
Declan has only shown emotion really twice in this entire 7-session run up to this point. And one of those times was with Jenny's grave. That was like one of the larger times that he's had emotion. And I think the second time was with Jason. It's not really been emotionally moved that many times. So each of those times haven't been very sexual. So the fact that like people are drawing these lines, like it's more factual than it is emotional to him. So the moment that he has like any kind of emotional physical connection with someone, it's going to wreck him. It's going to wreck him. He's not going to know what to make of it. He's probably going to be like, Tommen, we have to talk. My penis is doing weird things and I don't understand it for once.
No, please go to Maester Gallard with that. Well,
I loved the conversation with Andrea. Then.
So
that makes it even better.
And these birds.
Oh God,
they're not House Aaron birds. I know you can get confused. The symbols are the same, but they're metaphorical birds.
Maester,
and then when the bees and the birds like each other very much.
I'm a regular at the brothel. I've gathered.
Okay. Bird away. It's like stuffed
Put the bird
birds.
away.
I imagine it's like a stuffed
actually
bird. This like
clutching a bird.
demonstration.
Yeah.
Oh
Like it's a stuffed bee. Wasn't that?
I'm admittedly for the next couple of sessions, I'm scared for Ithleen. I think Ithleen is traveling a very dangerous path. And I don't think John is gone.
No.
I think the person on the safest path right now is probably Declan.
Which is
Levine
bizarre,
in a
all
very
things
safe
considered.
place.
Yeah, you're the safest one. The information Luvina let slip today will be very difficult. I've already kind of messaged about that. But at the same time, if something happens to Luvina or Liana, it leaves Ithleen in a place where like she has to marry, and she can't do that now.
I'm surprised that you gave that information to Liana because she's not the smartest cookie.
Here's the thing. She actually is. Everybody underestimates Liana, and the only person that gets to know who she actually is Luvina.
Ah, yes, Liana
She's slightly
Johnson.
impulsive. She's slightly like led by her feelings, but she's quite smart and she's good at being duplicitous in certain circumstances. That's why when she was with Lavina, she made a more impassioned, like, based speech rather than just being again impulsive.
I legit feel like I'm watching Mean Girls when Liana is on screen.
Yeah.
Good. That is
Reminds
actually, I want to think I told EE that she's a mean girl.
You didn't
She's
say
the
Mean Girl.
smartest.
You gave me the same description as I took Mean Girl from it without us saying those words. Yeah,
That's exactly how I see her. She's the smartest.
Well, you're nailing it.
Yeah,
she's
no,
the
it's
smartest
good.
one.
That's
yeah,
what
like
you're
it
going
was
for.
like when you hadn't slept before for a while after being in Dawn and came back, you were like, okay, she's gonna be like slightly more catty and like sort of. And I was like, right, Mean Girl's cool. Yeah.
Yep. I literally told him I messaged E. Most of my messages to E are like, I'm currently withholding sex from her. Okay.
Yeah. I rolled, by the way, to see if she knew about the stable boys. She didn't.
Good.
If she just
I
looks at
told her.
Luvina one day and she's like, slut, I'm just gonna walk away for a while.
Oh my
I'm tempted. But the problem is that slut doesn't exist in Westeros. I've never heard that as an
Yeah.
insult.
There's another word for it, right?
They'd use whore because that's
Whore,
but
yeah.
it's,
Whore
it's
would be the
more
word that they would
it's
use.
more the technical definition as well. Like they say whore in the same like way that they actually just say escort or whatever these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
We also talked a little bit about Liana. Like, is it feelings or is it sex? Because like it could just be the sex is so good. Like that's why you keep wanting her around. But it is a feelings thing. Like they have genuine feelings for one another. So being a young girl with those kind of feelings, it's tough to like put it to the side.
which makes it juicily complicated.
Also, when she's gonna get married to your brother.
You think she's gonna make it like 3 more years?
Yeah, so I was
I
saying,
know.
if you think we're gonna get that far, then
I
we all underestimate E.
I give Lavina like a 70% chance of having to go out as a PC before the end of the campaign. Probably in the next 3 sessions. But that out might be like she goes away with Lyanna happily to live somewhere, or it might be like she has to go away in disgrace. Like there's a huge spectrum for Lavina having to leave as a PC. And many of those could just involve like her and like Leanna splitting up, and Leanna being like, "I don't want you around anymore because you make this awkward." And it could be just she goes home. Like there's
Goes
a
home.
huge
Yeah, I go back
spectrum
to
of
Dora
what
and they
happens.
send somebody different.
Yeah.
We actually, Ian and I are already talking about what my second character is. Like I
Wow.
knew when I built Luvina, I told him, I was like, I'm building this character with the expectation that she will not be around by the end.
Yeah, like Leanna was intentionally left a little bit vague until now because she could have been a character for Doc to jump into. Now she's getting slightly more fleshed out of the relationship. Having other thoughts about other characters that could be. There are gaps to be filled.
2 questions.
Mhm.
Do we think Etheline is going to tell someone about the Bravosi, the Faceless Man? And if she does, who do you think she's going to tell someone? Who do you think is the first player character that she's going to tell?
I don't think she'll tell. I think it will be an accidental slip. We'll learn some.
That's what I think.
I'm not going to tell anybody. But
I think the first person
could
she would
find out.
tell would be Jenny. If she told anyone.
Really? I was thinking maybe her sister. Like I set a seed in Liana's mind that she needs to spend more time with her sister.
Yeah.
Do we know, like-
partially in hopes that she would get information and feed it to me.
Does Declan know about Faceless Men?
No.
Does anybody else know about Faceless Men?
Very unlikely. Like the threshold for that knowledge test is like high to know that Faceless Man exists as an assassin organization, but that's just literally the name. Then it's very high to know anything more, and it's more sort of if you know anything more, it's like, oh, they can be anyone. It's more like they're just assassins. They're really good at disguise, not they're magical people who can do the face thing. Like
it's funny actually.
Just assumes it's just really good deception.
I guess since it's the after show, I messaged E a few days ago and was like, I haven't had a thought. You know, like usually the Faceless Men will track people that have committed murder. Like they will find people that have already done it once. And so I was like, well, Luvina did this at a young age. Could she have been approached by a faceless man and turned him down? But you can't turn down.
Yeah.
You either accept or you
wouldn't
don't.
it be cool if I had said, I was like, yeah, I would say yes, but they would have definitely killed you if you said no.
Yeah, because I was like, it would have been interesting to have somebody that was offered and then rejected. So they're on the opposite spectrum from Italy, but you can't do that. They would have killed Luvina on the spot if she had denied.
Yeah. Like if Lean at any point goes away from this, she just is gonna die.
That's the end of my character. Yeah, I'm in this. Like
I'm surprised no one's dead yet. It's episode 7.
The thing is, Lean got out of her death by jumping into literally a railroad for like your character. Like you can't get out of the railroad without very high risk of death.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that happened because of Caliph. Like he used the berserk poison. I really didn't expect that to be the way to go, but he did.
I'm expecting the first player death to be at a wedding.
We do have a birthday celebration coming up.
You are avoiding weddings, though.
We are.
You are avoiding weddings, is that what you said?
Yeah, you are. Like, you've got,
Declan's
like,
not.
Leanna, who is years away. Declan, who has to learn about the thing called love. It's Lean, who is now promised to the Faceless.
Mhm.
And Jason, who is 5.
Oh.
And Caliph, who... Does he understand what love is?
Maybe Andrea
Jason
could
is
have.
6 now. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Is Callan like is it sociopath? Is that what they're called? Where they can't
Is he a
share.
sociopath?
I don't know if he is a sociopath. I certainly think there's certain aspects of him that are sociopath.
Yeah,
So-
because like some
sociopaths.
of those like people, those types of people can't like they just replicate emotion, but they don't actually have it. Like they can't feel it.
They can't
themselves.
actually empathize.
Yeah, they can't actually empathize like in
They
any
can
way. Like they don't
logically
know what
deduce
those
what they
feelings
should
feel
be
like.
feeling and try and logically replicate it, but they can't like put themselves in someone's shoes and then feel the emotion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what I did with Zach, because that's why he had.
Yeah,
Right.
Zach was. Yeah, absolutely. I actually think we had that conversation.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was in my I can't remember. We had a conversation at one point about Zach, whether or not he was a sociopath or a psychopath, and the difference between them. And he's more of a
they're
sociopath.
According to
things.
like the psychiatric manual, like apparently there's no difference these days, but originally there used to be like a slight difference in
There
terms
was
of how they
there is
treat it.
I've always thought there was a fine.
I see them as different things.
Me too.
I'm pretty sure that they're meant to be the same thing and just one of them's the old name for something that they've merged. I'm pretty sure they.
That's
they
an
merged them.
interesting. I thought sociopath. Anyways,
I think
I mean, there's
psychopath
also
knows what they're doing and likes the feeling of what they're doing.
of what they're doing.
No, that's
Yeah.
not necessarily the dividing line because it's not determined by what you like or not.
Okay, now I have to know sociopath versus psychopath. Okay, sometimes they are vice versa. Vice versa. They do share some traits. Sociopath is more of an antisocial personality disorder and is generally considered less severe than psychopath. So they are similar, but a sociopath usually is like, hey, I'm normal, I just can't empathize. Psychopath is like, hey, I can't empathize, so I kill women that look like my mother. You know, like that. It's like the next step up on like a higher level. But
Yeah, that's kind of how I see
Oh,
it.
so they don't use the terms sociopath.
Yes.
It's just an antisocial personality disorder with
Yes.
sociopathic tendencies.
correct. God, there's so many options. I've been thinking and plotting if I find out about the truth of what Caleb did, if Luvina does. She has a pitch for him, which ought to be
Ooh.
interesting. Yeah. I've been thinking on a
We kill
I'm
everyone
excited. I don't
else.
think
We
my
are the two
character has
remaining heirs. They
interacted.
legitimize us, and we unite our houses.
get out of my head, EE.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
Man.
I've interacted with Mathis's character much, so I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Declan's just here to write it out till the dragons come by and rain fire down upon us because it's fun.
Just make sure you ring those bells. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Yeah, just ring the bells. It works every time. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. That's the next big goal. Is like
Yep.
I have to decide now that the truth's out. I'm sure next game Luvina will regret having told Liana, but she's made it this far, and there are other people that know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thank you for watching the after show. And yeah, we'll find out next week about how that goes. I'm sure it'll be totally fine. No consequences.
It always is.
Bye, guys.
Okay, bye. Sleep well.
Bye.
Oh dear.